Welcome to Talking Fail, the podcast that tracks all of your cookies. I am Tyler, and with me are Artur and Ethan.
I guess I'm going to talk first since he said my name last.
Go for it.
I'm Artur. Ethan.
I'm glad we're off to a great start. So this is kind of a weird thing because we're all physically in the same room recording each other. It's like a Mexican standoff of podcasting.
Oh, but we're not looking at each other. We're just sort of like looking off into the corners of the room individually. It's the only way that we can record.
Do you know that that's a symptom of Asperger's?
Oh, it always comes. Sorry, that was the quickest we've ever made it to Asperger's.
No, I think this proves we've made it to Asperger's a long time ago. You guys,
it's Asperger's.
That's kind of like this thing that Temple Grandin said. That's another thing that always.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Makes
He's adopted some sap characteristics. Yeah, this is very new. I finally know what you guys look like.
Man, we should have brought a camera.
That's what I'm. My audio's wigging. This is working not great.
Because there's an episode where you were on, but you weren't on, and then you were gone, and then
my sister was on because Artur
because I was
okay.
on
So this is the first podcast where the two of you are on the same podcast
Tyler,
at the same
go ahead
time.
and edit that out.
I can't edit.
There's no multi-track. Okay.
So this is the first time that you've both been in the same podcast since your road trip.
You know, the way you phrase that makes it sound like a whole thing.
I mean, that's true. Also, the least important.
Well,
I think you're focusing on.
Is that a question? Is that a question? No, the trip was fun. How long was it, Ethan?
Oh man, almost a full week.
Okay. So
Didn't you get in on Sunday or Monday?
I got in on Tuesday.
It was
Tuesday
not
night.
almost a full week.
Got in on Tuesday night, and then
to Kansas City.
Then hung out with Ethan and his family for a little bit. We went to a museum. Do you remember what the museum was called? It might not have been
really
important
because it was phenomenal.
It was a fancy museum. It
super memorable.
Super memorable.
I remember the things inside. The museum is not a piece of history, but the housing.
They did have these gigantic shuttlecocks, which are.
And there goes our explicit rating.
Right.
I did not try.
I guess that.
I didn't see that.
Exclude the offensive part of that word. There are these giant cocks. No, there are these giant shuttlecocks. Shuttlecocks are the thing that you use in badminton.
What kind of badminton are you playing? Who's serving?
I mean, shuttlecock aside, it's probably not the most family-friendly match of badminton. Anyways, we were playing. We weren't even playing. Oh,
there was no badminton.
I tried to continue that sentence as if it was a thought.
There were birdies the size of cars.
They were shuttlecocks.
Pieces. I know them as birdies. But yeah, those are there.
Okay, let's agree to disagree on the actual stupid name for the stupid thing.
Okay.
And just move on with the story.
Well, that was the story. There were these giant shuttlecocks.
This was just an excuse to say
it
shuttle.
was. It really was.
We talked
just
about so
I
much.
I got a lot in, but
That's
you're
what
the
you said.
editor.
You can't see. You can't edit out what's already been in.
If I had a nickel.
Ethan knows that all too well.
Right, museum. So I don't know. Honestly, it was interesting. There were the most memorable parts were when Ethan, me, and his sisters were critiquing the social paintings. So there were these paintings that had these just these people in the Renaissance, just sort of playing music and pouring wine. But it was like this big. It was like a big mural. Kind of like The Last Supper.
It was The Last Supper,
but not The Last Supper.
It wasn't the painting of The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. It was another rendition of the same event,
but cheap knockoff.
No, but it was
It looked more fun for sure.
Well, it wasn't just the apostle.
There was a pizza.
Well, it was painted in the early 1800s and incorporated the stylistic and aesthetics of the time in terms of fashion and the food culturally, but it all resonated from the center. So Jesus, of course, in the center of the painting, was still in his like traditional clothing, and then the further you got from him, the closer to the modern day you got. I know we disagreed on the architecture, but like they were inside a building that had ancient Greek or Roman columns, and behind that was architecture more, I would say, Renaissance.
I don't know. I'm not.
It's basically the Last Supper equivalent of the movie Romeo plus Juliet.
Basically,
where it's like
it's
like it's Romeo and Juliet with guns and.
If you had to draw a comparison
between Romeo plus Juliet and The Last Supper,
I mean, it was interesting. I didn't really think of it as like, oh, this is a different take on The Last Supper. I saw it as just like, oh, it's a party. There's this main table where there's the main people eating, and
what do you think the current version of The Last Supper would look like? Would there be like the Chuck E. Cheese robots in the back?
Why is Chuck E. Cheese like, oh, that's the most modern
for the 90s?
Like serious.
Hey, where would
dramatic?
Where would Jesus Christ and his 12 apostles go in the 21st century? If it was like Star Trek and they had to come back or forward, they'd go to Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Yeah, totally.
There's like this mascot. It's a mouse.
Have the joy as a child, and he's just grabbing kids out of the ball pit. Have the curiosity of a child, and
I don't know. Fancy restaurant, I think, would be the.
It was in that hotel. It was a V. I forget They had phenomenal bourbon maple syrup. Motorcycle.
So it was this party setting, and it was interesting because there were these two groups of musicians, and one of them was like clearly the main group of musicians. Like, they're all kind of within audible range of each other, but one of them is clearly providing the main music, and the other group is like trying out or something. They're like getting feedback on their riffs in the background. So those are the kinds of things that we mentioned. Oh yeah, breaking news. I've just received word that we have a secret note.
Oh, the Nelson Atkins Museum. Very well known.
Yeah.
The Nelson Atkins Museum.
Isn't he the guy who started the Atkins diet?
Yeah, Atkins, right?
Nelson
Atkins. What's up with Atkins?
I'm on the Nelson.
I think it was a fad. Now it's gone, like all fads.
But what was it? Like it was a diet?
You don't eat pork, and I think you cut out like pork and you cut out bread.
Okay.
I think.
That's kind of weird.
I remember there being like Atkins hamburgers that had no buns. Like you would just
pretty
wrap
sure
it and
it's low.
I don't give a.
Yeah.
It's
why
from
are you
the
talking?
I asked
he asked me
the
a question.
name.
He asked me a question from the 90s. I was more around in the 90s than he was, so yeah.
It's true. He was more around in the 90s than I was.
How around in the 90s were you?
How around?
Yeah, how around were you?
Oh man, it was a crazy time.
I just kept bouncing back between decades. Didn't spend a lot of time in one place.
No, I haven't really gone back since I came back to.
Marty,
Yes.
we have to go back.
I can feel it. I can feel the palpable, awkward silence. So next question.
So there was
What did we do in Kansas City? The place where we moved from. I
Right.
moved from
we.
to here.
So you've already moved in together. You're already a couple. Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying?
That was
I am waiting.
for marriage. I don't know where that sentence is going.
Waiting for the rest of the sentence. So there was a motorcycle thing that you guys did.
Oh yeah. So there was this motorcycle shop that was having an event. We were just going to go check out the shop, but they happened to have this like creative event happening at the same time, and it was interesting because it's the shop itself. The motorcycle shop is very similar to what I've seen like in Sacramento and San Francisco. It's just like a co-op motorcycle shop. But what was interesting was the event that they were having was like creative themed. So like all the creatives in town were meant to like meet up and like chat, not even about motorcycle related things, just like about creative
My
things.
Little Pony.
Exactly. That's actually No comment. And there were like 3 people. There were like 3 creatives. So that was interesting to me because I'm used to meetups here, in San Francisco that are very like it's
a bigger thing.
It's a bigger, yeah. So when I showed up there and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got creatives," and there's like 4 of them. I was like, "Oh, interesting." Like it when you. It's hard to think about other industries when you're in one. Mm-hmm. So this was like seeing the other industries that are kind of like doing the similar things, but in a different environment.
Anytime that I'm at like any kind of meeting or like a venue or anything has to do with like sound, there's a sound system or there's a screen and projector and stuff, I'm critiquing every little bit of it. I remember when I was like 17, 18, I helped my mom would volunteer at the polling place every voting cycle, every time there's an election stuff. So one time I did it with her, and there was like a training session thing. It's like, okay, here's how you can do this, you can't do that, you have to have this sign within within 50 feet, and you have to have this away 25 feet away from the polling. It was just all the weird rules and stuff, and it got started late because the ladies who were running it had no idea how to operate it, how to connect their laptop to the projector, and they're having an issue with the microphone. And I leaned back and was just watching. I was enjoying them struggle with it. I actually leaned over to my mom and was like, I know exactly how to fix that projector and laptop issue, and I'm pretty sure I know how to fix that microphone. And she's like, oh, why don't you go? I was like, nah, it's more fun.
There's no Hippocratic oath of lighting technicians.
Of audiovisual, yeah.
If it's broken, it's not my job.
Yeah, it's not.
Well,
I think I did eventually go down and help them out, but I waited like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
Oh, well, correct me if I'm remembering it different from. I mean, I remember it much different. There were a handful more people, but it was people who are in creative industries, not associated with motorcycles. So but it was just like who people already established in the club knew. So it wasn't like this citywide reach out for creatives. It was like, hey, people who are gathered because of their shared interest in motorcycles, bring your people who have a shared interest through creative outlets. And basically what my dad would do for the tree, and just bringing creatives in and trying to connect them with the tree. And I don't know what the word is, but it wasn't a shop. It's like a motorcycle garage that you just get like a monthly subscription to.
I think I've heard about that.
And you go and you work on your project, and it's basically like a bike restoration riding community. Mm-hmm. And like they'll basically they give out project bikes to people who sign up, and like the whole thing is you can know nothing about bikes but come in and learn.
Yeah, I've heard about that kind of thing where if you're like I'm brand new to motorcycles and I want to just be within this group and hang out, and then I can ask questions to these. There's people with a lot of experience, and there's novices, and everybody's kind of learning from each other and bouncing ideas back and forth.
And it probably averages 15 to 30 people a night in there. Like they probably have over 100 members, but that's about how many people are there. Like that's the size of it. And there were 20 to 30 people there when we went. Because there's that whole side room.
I talked to the guy, and he was like, "We've got like 6 people here for the meetup." So
I wasn't there for that conversation. Okay.
Whether it was, I don't know. It's not even all that important. What's interesting is the whole, like, they had this bike that you would get if you if you joined.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is the one you wanted to work on. If you join, they have this like project bike. It kind of reminds me of like the motorcycle version. I probably shouldn't mention this because it's a reference. It reminds me of your dad's Dodge Dart. Mm-hmm. Like the I assume it's still not.
Well, okay. So you knew about the Dart. This is my dad's project car that has in our family famously sat untouched. He started it. Actually there's 2 darts. One was just a parts car, and then he focused on raising his kids and all that that stuff.
All that nonsense.
So it sat.
Seeing how they turned out, the time waste.
Should have worked on it.
I blame Will. He came last,
A
so
lot of things starting to make sense.
So it sat in the shop with no doors, no paint. It was, engine was running on it and everything, but it sat there for years, probably a decade or maybe 15 years and untouched. And so we'd always make fun of my dad. I was like, we'd always reference the Dart. Actually, a couple years ago, he ended up, he sold it to one of his technicians, and and so it's gone now. So, but it's just kind of a funny
Some
thing.
say you can still hear the whisper.
It wasn't a sign up enticement. They had a whole line of them that they were like, give them to new members.
I didn't know they had a
work
line
on.
of them, but the reason why it reminds me of the Dart is because it's kind of like I don't think that the engine ran, but I don't know exactly. It was a whole, like, you sign up, you get this project thing, and you basically learn about motorcycles by fixing it, is the way that I interpreted that whole offer.
Yeah,
and you get access to all the tools. You have a place to keep your bike. There's like lifts there. They do classes. And I found them a year ago. And I was talking to the guy for quite a while, like just made friends with one of the owners, and I knew nothing about bikes, but I'd come into the shop and just like work on stuff with him, like even with the shop, and just kind of hang out. Like they're like, you don't have to, like, they would invite me to come and just hang out around everybody. And he's like, tell you what, I've got a bike that is left here. There's not a lot of work left on it. You can have it, work on it, restore it. Like you buy the parts and all that stuff, and it's like $30 a month. It's like a gym membership.
Yeah.
And that wasn't like an offer that they had. And apparently they adopted it, or I don't know if that was a thought, but yeah, they had like 20 of those. Just
It's all the same model, or is it just like
no?
they're
not all the same. It's a lot of Yamahas, a lot
Sure.
of mid '80s stuff, because one of the more popular things to restore or to build to is a cafe racer. That's what Kansas City, I mean, they're like, whatever San Francisco's on, Kansas City's 5 to 7 years after that.
I don't think we should draw comparisons.
we still have
I think
listeners
that's a
in-
slippery slope. We start comparing.
That's not
politically
that's not my like interpreted comparison. I'm reiterating what many people have told me. If that's not true,
Well, if
it's not my fault for repeating things. I don't know.
Many people say many things though.
But people in Kansas City said discouraging things about Kansas City, is what you're saying. And that
I wouldn't say discouraging. How is just being
What?
further back on the trajectory?
Anyway,
So Kansas City was fun.
yeah.
And he recommended, the guy we were talking to recommended a pretty great.
Yeah, so we were talking with this dude who...
Did you bring up the podcast at all?
No.
Yeah.
Dear God, no.
Not this one.
Hey,
Yeah,
we're creatives too. We do a pod. No, we're not.
I brought up talking.success because, come on.
Your motivational speed.
Exactly.
You can podcast. Believe in yourself.
If you can think it, you can...
You can
maybe
make friends.
do it.
You can convince them to record conversations.
Actually, in Kansas City, the laws for recording people are a little bit more lax. So I recorded most of the conversations I had. Not a lot of good
one
ones.
party needs to know.
Really, not a lot of good, interesting. No, there are
You
some
talked to
interesting
me
things.
the entire week. What do you? We recorded ourselves for 5 hours in the car.
Well, I don't make the rules, man.
For whatever reason, people in Colorado are way more interesting.
There were some interesting people in Colorado. Anyways, we were talking with this guy at the motorcycle shop.
Hickory Union
And-
Moto Club.
Hickory, yeah. Oh, he was like, I don't remember if there's a story there or not. He had me like and follow them on Facebook.
Like at gunpoint. Just the way you're phrasing it.
Yeah.
No,
Now that
coastal
you think
people are just get really timid around anybody who doesn't live near a body of water. Oh my gosh, these are rednecks. Here, I'll flag you on Facebook.
They seemed cool for being rednecks. No, they weren't rednecks at all. Kansas City was very
It's a Democratic
I mean,
county.
it's only 5-7 years behind San Francisco, from what I've
so I
heard.
hear.
Well, I mean, like with fashion, it starts off in France, Western Europe, moves to New York, and then from New York, the trends go to the West Coast, and then from there, kind of filters in to the United States. I mean, you see that with even cars and stuff like that too, because gas prices take a while to change from Western. Like even the 2008 housing prices.
No. I'm gonna have to stop this. we hopped
So
to like
many
3
hops.
topics, and I don't want to discuss gas prices and how they relate to fashion and how fashion relates to Kansas City.
I'm listing.
I'd much rather talk about this
ship.
recommendation that this guy, we were talking with him, this dude, at the motorcycle
Hickory
shop.
Union Moto.
Hickory.
Ethan, are you
Was
being-
there a story with that?
And so the price of gas, let me tell you.
It's like $2.20 a gallon.
It was like $2
Did you just
per
like
gallon.
fill up your entire trunk?
I
gasoline?
got tanked. I got 10-gallon jugs of gas, and it started a delivery business. We started a gasoline delivery business.
Now you're just ripping off It's Always Sunny.
Has this done
No,
before?
because people paid for it.
Got
It's Missouri. Business models work 5 to 7 years longer in Missouri than they do.
What's Missouri Netflix like?
You can pre-order discs. Like they're not currently in stock right
Uh-huh.
now.
Okay.
I can't
But they
wait.
only have things stocked up to 2008. So because again they're 5 to 7 years behind on movies. Also, Kansas City's in
That's
Missouri.
almost 9 years, by the way.
So
2008 was-
okay, so you.
Oh,
I'm
shoot,
getting,
yeah.
now I'm getting
Okay,
lost.
so just back at the motorcycle shop, we were
Yeah.
talking
They
about this
recommended
guy.
a place.
And,
That's where we're at.
Hickory Williams.
Hickory Union
Moto
Club.
Who's sponsoring this
like and
podcast?
follow them as always. We were talking with this guy, and he mentioned this place. We mentioned that I was like visiting, and he was like, "If you want to check out Kansas City, let me tell you about this place."
Why is this the first time I'm hearing you don't like people from
and-
there?
And the place he mentioned was called the Ship. I'm pretty sure it's called the Ship. It was a ship, but it was in the shape of a building.
I think it was a building in the shape of a ship.
You know what other organization calls a ship that's also a building? It's Scientology.
Oh, you remember?
They have. I don't.
We didn't see you at church this morning.
Yeah, Tom's been asking. Anyways, it's a ship. It's like you go inside and it feels like a ship. It smells like a ship. Sounds like a ship.
Closest comparison would be the Pirates of the Caribbean ride from Disneyland.
Very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost
So what
more
is?
so.
But like, what is the point? Is it like a restaurant?
It's a
or is it-
bar and
Okay.
restaurant.
Okay.
It was a ship, or it was a restaurant downtown that was interior decorated like a ship, and it closed down 25 years ago, and all these things just sat in storage. And there's this place called West Bottoms in Kansas City, and it's kind of like, I don't know how you describe it, like a really old downtown. Like it used to be, it's right next to the train tracks. It used to be like a train yard type thing, but like a village next to it situation. So there's all these lofts and apartments, but when it was closed down, it was just abandoned.
Like back in European times, it was a really big deal.
Sure. Yeah, why would I comment on these jokes? Like, I'm just going to ignore them and you guys sit there giggling like, you didn't get it. Why would I respond? So it's this area being...
Acknowledging them in that way is much better.
I keep vocalizing my... I have like one of those parasites in my ear that just makes everything I think... I'm like Alec Baldwin in South Park.
You're like the opposite of the
Can you keep a
Rick and
secret?
Morty.
No, absolutely.
You know those memories? The memories can only have like positive experiences. They can only make up
Yeah.
positive things. You're like the opposite.
I'm just... So I'm a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Yes.
But anyway, this place is being like essentially gentrified, but there's no existing populace there. It's very much like 1920s New York.
Okay.
That's the era of the buildings. If you've seen the Newsies with Christian Bale, it feels like that set.
Would you recommend that film?
Yes. It's a musical.
Would you highly recommend it?
If you like musicals and older films or Christian Bale as a kid, watch the Newsies.
Is this Would you call
It's
it
my
your
f- it's one of-
favorite?
Musical? Probably. Second to Les Mis.
Okay, so recommended.
Film musical. Yeah.
It
Do you like musicals?
Seems like we're kind of backtracking a little bit. We went from like a great film to a great musical.
Favorite
So
favorite
do you-
musical
with
starring
Tom Cruise
favorite
and-
musical starring child Christian Bale.
What's your
Exactly.
favorite movie? Avatar or like the Von Trapp
Oh,
family?
it's Transformers, no doubt. I mean, it's just got everything.
He forgets who he's defending even before he hears the question.
Oh, I know exactly who I'm defending, and Boba Fett
Or was it?
is maybe done. I feel like we've written that reference.
Are we going to retire that?
Well, he's
name?
still alive in the
If we-
universe.
if
He's
we
canon.
get it right. If we remember which reference, we're retiring.
So just remember, we still have Jango Fett. Boba's out of the Sarlacc pit again. You know what I'm talking about.
All right. Do we have a coherent idea here?
Okay, and then that was the last. We got on the ship and we sailed out of California.
Sorry, that's gonna ruin the audio for that bit, but I needed to adjust my mic.
Yeah, I mean, talking about it probably makes people forget.
That one was mostly to.
That was a spite move.
So you explain more the one time we're recording video along with just.
Yeah, it's great. Summarized Kansas City. Spent a few days in Kansas City, and then drove across the country.
Anything to say about that artist?
Yeah, so we went to a museum.
Another museum, or is it the
This
first
is the
museum?
Nelson Atkins Museum. We went there. We spent a little bit of time there, and then we went to this record shop, and it was cool. They had these. They had all. They had vintage records, but then they also had like new vinyl. That's like really weird because you see things like Justin Bieber's new album on vinyl, and it just doesn't click. Doesn't make sense.
But you almost bought Daft Punk's on vinyl.
I almost bought Daft Punk.
New one.
I just didn't want to drive across the country
Transport
with it. Yeah. Especially because it's available here.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not good enough if it comes from Kansas City?
I didn't say that at all.
But anytime I've been in that kind of situation where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm at a record store and there's this thing and it's a brand new sealed, and it's a modern album from like the last 10 years or so, then I have to remind myself, I have Amazon. I have eBay.
So-
I can just
Exactly.
order this and it's probably going to be cheaper and it goes straight to my house.
It makes a lot of sense. That makes perfect sense. So, Artur, can you explain why you didn't get that painting?
All right. I try to lay these seeds for a story, and then you pick up on them.
I'm that kid that what happened next, Grandpa? I'm literally saying the next thing, kid.
It's like in The Princess Bride.
Is this a kissing podcast?
Oh, you just wait. Boy. Anyway.
Talking fails a successful kiss in my book.
So we stopped by this record shop after the museum,
Yeah.
and yeah, I didn't buy the record, the Daft Punk record, but we left, and right outside that record shop, there's like this. I don't even know what to call it, but it's kind of like an industrial looking area. It's like little warehouses, and one of them had like a sign of some sort. I don't remember what the name was. It was like
Vape.
alloy or something, or
Vape.
I don't think so.
Something weird like that, not associated.
Not super important. It's just a little warehouse looking thing. So we walked up, and we were just like, "Hey, what's up?" And there's this old guy who looks like he's 70. He's like, "Hey, I'm like an artist, and this is my like crib." He had many canvases. He had a lot of mannequins. It's a little weird, but
That's not him.
But we figured it out. We walked in. We walked through this like it's a little warehouse. It had all these canvases just left and right. Some on the walls, some not. Some of them were interesting. We walked past all of this to see this like little lounge in the back, and this lounge is maybe the size of a couple Starbuckses, or a big Starbucks. I don't know if that's
it's a standard unit of measurement in urban areas. Yeah,
exactly. So it's
800
one large
square
Starbucks, one venti Starbucks.
Double shot of LSD.
Yeah, it was a really cool lounge. It was sponsored by Tito's, clearly.
Wait, what?
Tito's vodka, and now they're sponsoring this show. No, there were just signs for it everywhere. It was a really cool lounge.
So he's just an old alcoholic artist.
It was an old.
Well, we walked
it
in
wasn't
the
just
back.
an alcoholic, I think, given the artwork. We hung out there for a little bit. We checked out the lounge. It was completely empty, so it was kind of nice. And then we were heading out of the place and walked back along those canvases and asked a few questions about some pieces. And one piece in particular I was really interested in. It was these. Now that I think about it, I'm sort of glad that I didn't buy it. but it's these people in an inferno.
It's like an exclusively blue and red palette photo of. Think of Van Gogh's Screaming Man, a little less abstract, and
So it's like these silhouettes, these three silhouettes,
with
and in
defined
the background
faces.
there's this fire, and the silhouettes are kind of blue, and the fire is all red. The colors reminded me of an album that I really like, the artwork for it specifically. So I was like, this is interesting. I don't want to name the album.
Why? It's a good album.
All right, so the album is Starboy by The Weeknd. They're not related in any way except for visually. Yeah, it was a really cool piece, and
I think less of your story now that I know the
that's
album
why I
title.
didn't mention it. It's understandable. So I was listening to Britney Spears. And her new stuff is actually pretty good.
You got that one on vinyl.
Anyways, I walked past this painting and I was like, that looks really cool. And he's like, oh, it's one of my originals because it's a collective.
From 40
turns
years
out.
ago.
Yeah, and there's all these cool paintings and these mannequins that have glass all over them and little. It's a visual
Sure.
thing that we're just
Didn't you
describing
take
now.
Photos?
I did take photos, but that's not going to help with the.
I mean, Tyler will show you photos.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll
if
be-
you
I'll
are, or
be-
if you are a patron of the Talking Fail podcast, let us know.
First off, let us know. We
you know,
should
I can,
know.
I can contact the patrons through the Patreon site.
You haven't returned any of my text messages in weeks.
Yeah, well, stop sending me those pictures.
Oh, by the way,
The guy painted them. I just wanted to share his work.
Well, I don't need to see all those penises.
all of them? Really? I mean,
After 4, it's like you've
Okay.
seen one.
No,
you've
it's
seen
one
them all.
penis duplicated.
Well,
Artur
it's
insisted.
look, art is a very subjective thing.
Yeah, Artur loves him.
in fact, that's the piece I bought.
Yeah, I have to go home
Why-
with it. It's because I mean, obviously, I'm not going to detach it.
This may or may not be show material, but okay, so this last Friday I got drinks with my coworkers, and most of my coworkers I don't know besides from working with them at my current job, except for one who I worked with at the last company I was at, and that was for 3 years. Anyways, he and I got really drunk, and I told him about the Talking Fail podcast.
It's the only way to get Archer to talk
And
about
with my coworkers, maybe
Have you tweeted out any?
a little bit. Not, I don't. No,
it. No,
You
a little bit. No.
You can spend less time on my joke than I do.
but
It's okay.
but the reason why I bring it up is I mentioned it to my coworker, and I mentioned the Patreon, and he immediately was like, "What's the highest tier?" And I'm like, $50, and you get the T-shirt. And I think we might have another patron.
Well, every time somebody hits the top tier, then we
Which
have
is-
to add another tier because that's proof of hitting a peak. Like you want.
At a certain point, we offer a higher amount if people are asking. But this,
We can-
this
Tell you what. How about if we get a patron, a patron that spends more than $2 at a time, $2 or $3 at a time, and then we can talk about upgrading the $50. The 50. Yeah, it is my podcast. Damn it.
Wait, who gave him the podcast?
I don't think anyone did. I think you just sort of took it.
I'm fighting you for custody.
This
This is my failure, and I'm gonna take it.
so we planned it out to be like a really, we planned for a lot of room So at a certain point,
we gave ourselves plenty of flexibility, but
Mhm.
it's still a 26-hour drive from Kansas City, Missouri to Sacramento, California. So we drove all the way through Kansas into Denver and then up through Utah, Nevada.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we got to Denver the first day.
yeah, I
It's
guess
like 9 hours.
my point was just we started off pretty casually.
Mhm.
We reached Denver, and then everything after that was like all right, we're just gonna
Okay, let's just push it.
I mean,
switch off driving like
I-
every X amount of hours.
yeah, and we spent a whole day in Denver, which Denver's awesome.
Denver's pretty cool.
Yeah. The weather's nice.
We spent a lot of time in their like kind of a college part of town, so that was interesting. It was a little hip, which is cool too. I think it's like San Francisco, but maybe 3 years ahead or something.
Ahead? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is a proprietary reference, but it felt very much like the Collide Campground, like a toned down, like the infrastructure plus the natural surroundings. It felt a little,
Like a summer camp is
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we
Where
got
we were.
food at this place. I mean, I already talked about it a little bit, but we got food at this place where there was just a bunch of food options. A lot of different restaurants.
It was like the nicest food court.
Food court. That's the word.
But
I
it was
couldn't-
super, it was like really hip designed, and there were still servers for the food. It was a very interesting.
It was weird. At one point, we got coffee from one of the waitresses,
Mhm.
but like she didn't bring a bill or anything. And then we wanted to leave, but we had this coffee that we're now like on the hook for,
Right.
and she like eventually walks up and we're like, hey, how, like, do I give you money? She's like, yeah, and we're like, how much is it? And she's like, $3.
Does she work there? Is she just somebody who walks around pouring people coffee?
So we gave her $3 and
I
we
mean,
left.
She had an
Right?
apron,
Yeah,
but she wasn't just.
she
her.
served
We were
us food before.
Like,
So
she didn't just bring us coffee. Yeah.
So that was that.
Fish sandwich though.
cod, blackened
Catfish.
cod, catfish, blackened catfish. It was really. It's not important.
It was really good. If you've ever been to Hazel's in
Mm-mm.
San Francisco, you're gonna.
No,
go to
I'm
Hazel's.
sorry.
Go to Hazel's.
I just think it's
Say hi
diluting
to Hazel for me.
the taste of Hazel's if you're comparing it to.
I was going to say the consistency of the sandwich, the contrast of texture and density was very similar.
It
to
was a
Hazel's.
well-made sandwich.
Yeah, which we talk about that on the drive.
We're very picky about our breads on sandwiches, specifically how much bread and how tough it is.
Mhm. Well, I mean, if you get like a super tough bread, it's you're
can't
sitting
eat
there
the
you're
sandwich.
ripping
You
it
want-
apart.
Exactly.
You want a pretty you want a pretty mellow contrast of density straight through the entirety of the sandwich. You don't want to be squeezing out tomatoes
Well, there's
while
two,
you're trying to get through the crust.
There's two things in my mind when it comes to bread sandwiches. There's the crust, right? So
Mhm.
like French
Yeah.
bread has a really tough crust, and then there's the actual bread that's inside the crust. I don't know what the
Yeah,
technical
the
term
internal,
is.
yeah.
The inner bread.
Yeah.
And if both of those, like if you have a really dense inner bread and a really soft crust, then that's a pretty good sandwich, but you probably don't want a lot of bread.
Mhm.
It's like a rye bread. This sandwich was like aesthetically, it looked like a really hard crust and a really airy, like French style inner bread.
Mhm.
But when I tried it, it was extremely soft. Like the crust was not hard at all. It was really good.
And same density as the fish, and the ratio was about the
Biting it
the
didn't
thickness of-
squeeze
the
all the
thickness of both
the
slices of
ingredients out.
bread was about as thick as the contents of the sandwich, which I think is a fairly good. Like you don't want any smaller of a ratio than that. And I know we were both like, we're not going to talk about sandwiches.
Welcome to Talking Sandwiches.
Sandwich.fail.
Um,
And we're for talking.
Patrons, we have a post show where we teach you how to make our favorite sandwiches.
I know how to make tuna.
God only makes tuna. Artur, what were you
I
saying?
can make grilled cheese.
So,
Not
hey,
a sandwich, just the grilled cheese.
yeah, I just put cheese on a grill and then I eat
I
that.
found it pretty intuitive. So
How'd you get over them only being for girls?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, no. When I grew up, I always heard it pronounced and pronounced it myself as like, "Oh, grilled cheese," because the word gets condensed, and only my sisters would eat it. So I'm like, why is it called a grilled cheese? I mean, maybe I understand that girls like cheese more than boys, but why did they name it that way?
We understand the reference at this point, but it just wasn't.
Didn't land.
Interesting.
Well, that was my life. That
We'll
wasn't
come around to it.
Yeah. So just in general, your life didn't land.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I greatly enjoyed it, probably more so than you, because it wasn't a trip for me; it was an escape. Like,
Wait, is that why the cops were following us the whole time?
No, that's just that's Kansas. The only revenue they have is giving speeding tickets out to people who are trying to get out of the state, because they only have one freeway, and it just goes straight through.
They really do.
We should talk about the lands. The United States is a giant Catan board.
Wait.
We talked about
it. Sounded like you were handing it off to me, but I don't know
Kansas,
where you...
Kansas is you're just when you drive that far over, like when you're driving 26 hours, you get through a lot of geographical diversity quickly, and you're just driving through like wheat, and then it kind of you can start to see when the gradient begins of like, oh, there's a little more vegetation. Okay, the trees are getting denser. It's actually like walking through Minecraft biomes. Like it feels that way, especially when you get past Kansas, because you go through so many different variations of desert and Colorado. You get forest, you get lots of clay, you get like just rocky mountains, and
it does sort of feel like you're transferring biomes or like walking or
you're traveling through Minecraft,
transporting through. Yeah.
And in Utah, when it's night,
also,
it's just like Minecraft, where you can't see the canyons that are right in front of you. Remember where we stopped and switched spots for the first time, and we couldn't figure out if the canyon in front of that rest stop was like 20 feet deep or a couple
like
hundred.
The abyss. Like, the endless abyss.
Like we could see the bottom of it, but we didn't have depth perception. It was
couldn't get a sense of scale,
Mm-hmm.
so it could have been like a mountain or it could have been a court. It sounded like you had something else.
I was just gonna make a stupid.
What else do you have?
I was gonna make a stupid Minecraft. Everything is cube shaped, and
the graphics were a little better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your render distance to?
I always set it to 9 chunks.
Well, I'm very visual, so
Standard.
I'm maxed out.
Yeah. Ever since I got a new laptop, I've been maxed out.
But you're such a creative, so I'm sure you don't have a problem with that.
No, not at all.
Thank you for listening. I think that's going to wrap us up for this kind of trial in-person episode. Check us out next time on our regularly scheduled episode.
Well, you can check me out unscheduled if you
9
want.
p.m., 7 Central.
Don't do that.